Sometimes, life has a way of turning the tables in ways no one could ever imagine. One day, a young black waitress is humiliated by a powerful billionaire in front of a crowded restaurant. She feels small, invisible, and disrespected. But the very next day, fate pulls the greatest twist of her life. She's not only recognized, but ends up signing the biggest $100 billion deal in the company's history. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this one. Amara wiped her hands on her apron, staring at the neatly set tables at Bellissimo, the five-star restaurant where she worked. The scent of freshly brewed coffee and warm pastries filled the air. She adjusted her curly bun, tied neatly beneath her black waitress cap, and whispered to herself, "Just another day, Amara. Smile, keep it professional, no matter what." Amara was a waitress not by choice but by necessity. Her dream was bigger than any restaurant hall. She wanted to build a tech startup that would provide financial access to underserved communities. She had the mind of an innovator, but the empty pockets of a struggling waitress. Every paycheck went to rent, her mother's hospital bills, and her younger brother's school fees. Still, she carried herself with pride. She wasn't ashamed of honest work. That morning, a buzz ran through the staff. A billionaire was coming. Richard Lexington III, CEO of Lexington Global Enterprises, a man so rich that newspapers said he could buy entire cities if he wished. Amara rolled her eyes quietly. "Just another rich man who thinks the world bows to him," she muttered. Little did she know, she would meet him face to face in the most humiliating way. The restaurant fell silent when Richard Lexington walked in. Tall, broad-shouldered, wearing an immaculate navy blue suit that probably cost more than Amara made in a year, he strolled in with an air of ownership. Two assistants flanked him, holding tablets and whispering schedules. Amara approached his table with her polite smile. "Good morning, sir. Welcome to Bellissimo. Can I offer you something to start?" Richard didn't even look at her. He scrolled through his phone, waved his hand dismissively, and said, "Orange juice. Make it quick." Amara nodded, biting back her irritation. She returned with a tray, set the glass gently, and said, "Here you go, sir." But Richard suddenly looked up, his cold gray eyes locking on her. "You're too slow. Do you even know how to serve?" Before Amara could respond, Richard lifted the glass of orange juice, and in one shocking move, poured it over her apron and shirt. The restaurant gasped. His assistants froze. Amara stood trembling, her uniform soaked, citrus dripping down her arms. "This," Richard said loudly, "is what happens when people waste my time." The humiliation burned her deeper than the cold juice. Amara wanted to scream, to cry, but she stood tall, clenched her fists, and whispered, "One day, sir, you'll remember me." He smirked, unconcerned, and returned to his phone. That night, Amara sat at the kitchen table of her small apartment, scrubbing the orange stains out of her uniform. Her younger brother, Malik, peeked out of his room. "Amara, are you okay?" She forced a smile. "Just work drama. Don't worry about it." But Malik saw her red eyes. He hugged her tightly. "You always take care of us. One day, someone will take care of you." Amara kissed his forehead, trying not to cry. She then turned on her old laptop and opened the files for her startup idea. FinAccess, a digital platform that would help small business owners in rural areas access microloans, banking, and mentorship. She whispered, "If only I had the chance. Just one shot." Her chance was closer than she knew. The next morning, Amara reported to work, dreading another encounter. But instead of Richard, she was approached by a sharply dressed woman. "Miss Amara Johnson?" the woman asked. "Yes. I'm Clara Monroe, legal counsel for Lexington Global. Mr. Lexington requests your presence at the company headquarters today. Amara froze. Why? I'm not at liberty to discuss details. A car will be outside in 30 minutes. Her co-workers exchanged stunned looks. Girl, what did you do? One whispered. Amara's heart raced. Was he going to fire her from the restaurant? Sue her for something she didn't do? She didn't have the luxury to refuse, so she changed into her cleanest dress and got into the sleek black car waiting for her. Lexington Global's skyscraper gleamed against the city skyline. Amara had never stepped foot into a building so tall, with marble floors and glass walls that seemed endless. Clara guided her into a massive boardroom where Richard Lexington sat at the head of a polished oak table. This time, he actually looked at her. Sit, he said. Amara crossed her arms. If this is about yesterday. Richard raised a hand. Yesterday, I tested you. Amara blinked. You, what? He leaned forward. You didn't flinch. You didn't cry or beg. You stood your ground. I humiliated you to see your reaction. And now, I need someone exactly like that for what comes next. Amara's jaw dropped. You poured juice on me, as a test? That's not leadership, that's cruelty. For the first time, Richard's cold mask cracked. Perhaps. But in my world, weakness is destroyed. And I need someone strong to represent me in the biggest deal of this company's history, a $100 billion merger with an African tech conglomerate. Amara stared at him in disbelief. Why me? He slid a folder across the table. Because they requested you. The CEO is an old friend of your late father. He told me, if Amara Johnson still lives, she is the only one I trust to sign this deal. Her breath caught. Her father, an African entrepreneur, had died when she was only a teen. She thought his legacy had vanished with him. And now, it was calling her back. The next day, Amara found herself in a conference hall, facing Dr. Nnamdi Okeke, CEO of the African tech giant. He smiled warmly. Amara Johnson. Your father spoke of you often. He said you had the heart of a lion and the mind of an innovator. Tears stung her eyes, but she kept steady. I only hope I can honor him. The room was filled with executives, lawyers, and investors. Cameras flashed. Richard Lexington watched from the corner, arms crossed. The documents lay on the polished table. Amara took the pen, her hands trembling for only a moment, then steady as steel. With one signature, she sealed the largest $100 billion deal in the company's history. The room erupted in applause. Richard stood and clapped slowly, his expression unreadable. After the signing, Richard approached her privately. You proved yourself. Yesterday you were a waitress. Today, you're the face of the biggest deal in my company's history. Amara lifted her chin. No, Mr. Lexington. Yesterday I was already more than a waitress. You just failed to see it. His lips pressed into a thin line, then curved into a rare smile. Perhaps I underestimated you. From now on, you're not just an employee. You're a partner. Amara shook her head. I don't need your partnership. What I want is your backing for Fin Access, my startup. Not charity, but investment. Richard studied her, then finally nodded. Done. You'll have the funding. Amara turned, walking out of the skyscraper with her head high. Yesterday, she was mocked, disrespected, and drenched in orange juice. Today, she walked out with dignity, legacy, and a $100 billion victory. Sometimes the world may try to belittle you. Sometimes people may try to pour their cruelty on you like a glass of cold juice. But if you hold your head high, stand firm in who you are, and never let humiliation define you, life will open doors no one can shut. Remember this: never underestimate the quiet strength within you. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment where you're watching from, and subscribe for more powerful stories.